Hello, greetings to everyone. It's Alvaro and this video is about the YC series. Yamaha released the YC61 stage keyboard in the 2020 and now we are pleased to add two new models of the YC series, the YC88 and the YC73. In this video, I'll be using this one, the YC61, and focus on the organ section that we are going to hear now. Well, now I'm gonna show you the differences between Yamaha series. When choosing what type of instrument we need, it's interesting to know the differences between the CP and YC series and the range of synthesizers. Let's see them. The CP series is focused on pianos. It includes a complete and exclusive collection of models, such as the Imperial Busendorfer, the SU7 Premium Vertical, and all types of acoustic and electric pianos. With a weighted keyboard action, wooden key, and an interface that focuses on the details of the piano, the CP series is aimed at pianists who need the perfect feel and touch for piano technique. On the other hand, this one, the YC series, is designed for keyboardists or stage pianists who need versatility but without complex editing and quick control. Also for performers and specialists in organ techniques, it includes a complete section of vintage organs with a new dedicated engine, as well as a new FM engine. The Yamaha synthesizer series, like Montage or MODX, is switchable for editing sounds in depth, in a much more specific way, and as a field of research and creativity based on sound. They give us total freedom in all editing processes, from choosing samples or operators if we use FM, to distribute them in layers or splits, or altering with the effects we want by controlling each parameter. As we have said before, the YC series, with its three models of 61, 73 and 88 keys, is designed for keyboardists who need versatility without sacrificing speed of control. They have three dedicated sound engines: a Virtual Circuitry Modeling engine, called VCM, dedicated to generate hyper-realistic organ sounds, with the same details and imperfections as the real instrument, which we can also customize to our liking. Another FM engine, which generates new organ sounds based on FM waves. And of course, those legendary FM electric pianos. As well as lead synthesizers, pads, etc. Another engine that could not be missing is the AWM2, with impressive sounds of acoustic Yamaha pianos. Electric pianos, strings, guitars, basses, horns, everything a keyboard player needs. The touch and sensitivity of the keys has been perfectly recreated in each model of the YC series to offer a totally natural feeling, which we would have when playing a real organ in the 61 model, stage keyboard in the 73 model, or real piano in the 88 model. And one of the most important key points of the YC series is that we can easily control everything with a click. At any time, we can radically change sounds and access all parameters without having to enter any menu or screen. All the controls at hand, just like in the old days, so that we can focus on the music and avoid complex editing processes. Okay, let's see the differences between the 61, 73 and 88 key models. This one, the YC61, is focused on recreating the feeling of playing a real organ, with the original touch of a waterfall keyboard, which allows you to easily play glissandos or percussion effects. It's also super compact and lightweight, only 15 pounds, 10 ounces, 7.1 kilos. The YC73 is for keyboardists who need a variety of sounds but prefer a weighted action. With 73 hammer action keys, it's perfect to play from both acoustic and electric pianos to the full range of synth sounds. Perhaps we can say that it's the most versatile of the three models, as it is still compact and lightweight, while it has weighted keys at the same time. And the 88, the YC88, is for pianists who need to recreate exactly the piano key feel, but with all the variety of YC series sounds. It has 88 natural wooden keys, with triple sensor and synthetic ebony and ivory tops, and it also offers our premium stage keyboard action, designed by a company with over 100 years of piano manufacturing experience. You cannot ask for more. Well, the organ section is the most important in the YC series. It's carefully designed to the utmost detail, offering all the possibilities of control, and works through two different engines, a Virtual Circuitry Modeling engine, VCM, which brings to life all the elements of a vintage organ, and another one, based on FM synthesis, which uses operators for each drawbar. In the Yamaha YC, we have all the controls of a real organ, vibrato and scanner chorus, percussion section, input saturation level, general volume, split, octave change to combine as we want, all the possibilities. And the most attractive part of this section, the drawbars, are illuminated with the initial level every time we access a preset, so that we can have the sound inside even before we work on it. The touch is like a real drawbar, with that little resistance that we can feel at every step. Now I want to tell you about one of the most important pieces to complete a good organ sound, the rotary speaker. We have two different switches, one of them to toggle between slow and fast, and another one to completely stop the movement. Stop. Going to the right side, in the YC's effects section, we can switch between the type of rotary speaker. In case we want a more classic tone, the Rotary A, or a more rocker and aggressive one, Rotary B. Much more aggressive. At any time, we can quickly switch between upper or lower keyboard, each of them with a distinctive color that we can also adjust. We have this possibility without changing the preset to have different options in a song or performance. With this switch, we can also control the sound of two different manuals if we want to add an external controller, as we will see later. Okay, In the main knob of the section, we can choose between several types of organ. We will start with those that come from the VCM engine. H1. The first one is a tone wheel organ which is very well balanced in frequencies and very switchable to play in a jazz organ combo, for example. H2. With more emphasized mid-frequencies, the second one is perfect to play in a band while maintaining a good tonal presence. Let's hear. H3. With a more aggressive sound and more incisive percussion, the third one is great for doing killer solos. Awesome, this H3 organ. Of course, we have the vibrato and scanner chorus options of a real organ, which have also been recreated with the VCM engine, and which are faithful to the behavior of the original effects. Let's hear them. Vibrato 1, 2, 3. Chorus. In the percussion section, we also have all the possibilities, and it should be mentioned that depending on which organ we have selected, they will sound differently to emphasize the character of each one of them. Well, the VCM engine goes much further, recreating all the electrical design of a drawbar organ. Much of the richness we seek on these sounds comes from small imperfections in the mechanical design, and all those imperfections are not only recreated, but we can adjust them to our liking, to sculpt our own organ sound. Here we have some of these settings to give you an idea of the power of the VCM engine. Accessing the sound menu, we enter the settings for the VCM organs. First, the leak level, leakage. Let's hear it, much better without speaker and without reverb. By changing the value, we can hear that kind of dirt. Leak. Okay. In the key click level, the key click is the collision of magnets that produces that input and output clicks. Let's hear from 0, no key click, and little by little, we can notice the attack level of this noise. Key click. In the perk link menu, we can associate or separate the higher drawbar from percussions, since the original organs use the same tone wheel to generate the sound. Now, turning off, we can hear both sounds at the same time. Okay. Another thing that we can do, we can also decide whether we want the expression pedal to act before or after the pre-drive, as we will get different results. If we select volume, the pre-drive will affect even with the pedal in minimum position. Can you hear the drive in minimum position? And with drive to volume, a much cleaner sound in minimum position. And now with drive. Okay, in the sound menu, we'll be able to customize a specific part of the rotary speaker, altering the level of horn and rotor. I've turned on the speaker. We can change the speed of horn and rotor, the acceleration, and maybe one of the features I wanted the most. And finally, we have in the YC, the speaker mechanical noise level. For any organ player, these sounds made by the moving tape in the speaker are essential to feel that dirt and vintage sound that we have been looking for. We can switch on, off, and adjust the level. Let's hear. Can you hear? Now fast. It's awesome. With the revolution that Yamaha started in the 80s with FM synthesize, the YC series could not be without an operator-based FM engine. The organ section has 3 models that come from this FM engine. The F1 organ, which is based on pure sine waves, is a much cleaner sound that you can then distort or twist to your liking. The F2 is a British-style drawbar organ, perfect if we want to play 60s or 70s rock. The F3 is an Italian-style vintage organ, also widely used in the 60s and 70s. Okay, we have to consider that these organ sounds are not only aimed to achieve a pure vintage sound, but in combination with the effects section, or by adding layers with the keys section, we can achieve new sounds, mellow or aggressive, and in a much more versatile way that we can imagine. It allows us a new approach, starting from classic instruments to a much wider palette of colors and sounds. Here I have 2 sounds of that style. Taking the idea of Blake Angelos, here we have an F1 organ that I've combined with a soft electric piano and a pad. It's perfect to integrate it as a background in any production. With a much more aggressive sound, here is the F3 organ that combined with a synth works perfectly as a super bass. For those who love the original instrument, consisting of two manuals, I like to show how simple it is to add a second keyboard and easily interact with this setup. Here we have the second keyboard, a Yamaha MX61 in this case. The first thing we will do is to connect a MIDI cable from the second keyboard output to the YC input. Now, we just have to enter the Setting menu, External Keyboard, Organ, and select either 2 manual low if we want it to be the lower keyboard, or 2 manual up should we want it to be the upper keyboard, as it is the case here. After this, we will be able to modify each drawbar settings using the upper and lower switch. The YC operating system receives updates that can be downloaded for free from YamahaSynths.com. These updates provide us with new sounds and features. In the last one, 1.1, we have 2 new piano sounds and electric pianos too. Let's hear some of them. This one, the Nashville C3, is a legendary club piano that has been recorded using analog tape techniques to preserve a warm sound with plenty of character and personality, ideal for playing vintage and, of course, Nashville styles. Lovely sound. This one, the new Live CF3 preset, is one of the Yamaha sounds most used by stage musicians, but in this review, there are emphasized frequencies and improved dynamics, so that the sound continues to stand out and fit into the mix, even in large bands with many instruments. The new RD73 stage and studio electric piano sounds offer that warmth and tone of the 70s instruments, while respecting the small imperfections that make them more natural. This one, the studio, is soft sound. Harder sound. Okay, with this update, the possibilities to control pitch modulations have also been expanded. Before, we found them in the Settings Controllers menu, and now they are in the Sound menu and within each section. This way, we can choose in which section we want to apply this pitch modulation with depth, speed, and initial options. Another new feature is that now we can also access the sound list in a much easier way. Just by pressing twice or holding down the voice selector, the voice list will appear, speeding up the process and workflow. Thank you all. I hope you have enjoyed the YC61 impressive organ sounds. They set a new standard for realism and authentic feeling of playing an original organ, being perfect to achieve that sound of the old days, as well as the warmth and natural tone of this instrument, which have been so important in the history of 20th century music, and of course in today's music scene. Thanks for watching, take care, goodbye. Thank you.